So at the age of 7, I was run over by a drunk driver. My legs were twisted the opposite way. The doctor said I'd be paralyzed
Wow.
or walk again. Right?
Wow.
God healed me in 20 minutes, just like that. Doctors never laid a hand on me.
Wow.
Like, of course, I'm young, so I'm not thinking spiritually yet. But as years go on, it was like the enemy was always attacking me, but in my legs or like dealing with my mobility to do something. Right. So then in 2005, I was in another bad car accident. My lumbar tube was snapped. It was broken. They told me the same thing. I'll be paralyzed for the rest of my life. I'll never walk again. But God healed me the same night.
I heard it on the radio. Tell me up beside the stereo. When I feel it all around, I love to hear the sound of blessings, peace, Lord.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into another episode of Q's Radio. And if this is your first time, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. This channel is new. And if you are here for the first time, like, subscribe, share it. And it's no pressure because I don't pressure people into doing that. Only if you want to, but I will tell you this. Q's Radio is about dope music, great conversation, and elevation. And if you've seen this before, you've listened to the podcast before, you know I stop right there on that word elevation. And if you know that, say it with me. The reason why I say elevation is because we want to go higher. Yeah, we want to go higher. You think about just the things that you have in life, the things that you want to do. You think about how certain things are set up to where they have these high-rise condominiums in downtowns of cities. And usually people want to see and stay in those high rise, but they're usually more expensive. Reason being is because the view that you get from the top, you can see everything. It's so beautiful. And the thing about it, with God, we can elevate into exactly what God wants us to be, where God wants us to be. And you'll hear me say this a lot about the blueprint. Think about the blueprints for buildings. Think about this. God has the blueprint for your life. And if you follow that to the T, you're going to have the most magnificent edifice that you need. And that's your life, because your life is supposed to be a living sacrifice dedicated unto God. And that's what we do. And so today I have a creative here with me, man. I'm so excited about this, man. This young man coming all the way from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, Wake Forest, CP3, Rodney Rogers, Tim Duncan. He's a baller himself.
Yes, sir.
But he is also a phenomenal creative in regard to music and videos, and he's gonna tell us whatever else. I'm talking about none other than Mr. Mike Teezy. How you doing, bro? Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. For sure.
Yeah, man. Glad to have you on. And as we were chopping up beforehand, I know, like you said, you ball.
Yeah, for sure.
And I guess my question is, just being in North Carolina, like I told you, my experience of living in North Carolina is that when we moved there, we saw basketball goals at every driveway.
Thanks.
People were committed and serious about the game.
Yeah.
And so I know you told me you moved to North Carolina. You guys moved there in 2000.
2000. Yeah.
Okay, so you moved there at a pretty young age yourself.
Sure. Yeah.
Is that where your love for basketball came, or was it before that in West Virginia?
I always loved hooping since I was a kid. And back in West Virginia, I was a part of like the Upward basketball joint. So I played during that. And when I moved down here, I still was in love with basketball. I just love the game. So it's always been a big part of me in a sense, because like I really wanted to do that, but God saw fit to do something else with me. But I really wanted to hoop. But yeah.
Okay, you said you really wanted to do that, and usually the question that people will ask is, how tall are you?
I'm 6 foot.
Okay, 6 foot. Okay. So I'm guessing, a guard.
Yeah, shooting guard point.
Unless you're in the church league, in church leagues you may be a center. You know
Right.
how they do in the church league. Oh, he's 6 feet, so we could put him at power forward. We can put him at center.
Right.
But that's the beautiful thing about it. Did you play like in high school?
Yeah, played in high school. My senior year was like our official year, so I went to a school that was very small. It was a public charter private school, if that makes any sense.
Okay.
It was really small. My graduating class was 10, like 9 or 10.
Wow. How many students at the school in total?
9, huh?
How many students at the school in total?
I have no idea. It's a lot bigger now, but around that time, it was really, really small. But my senior year was our first year of an official basketball team. So I had the ball out that year. So I was the captain. I was the MVP, all of that. So, yeah.
Yeah, you serious on that court, man. I know you are. I don't see many videos on social media of you playing basketball, but
I got some,
it's all
bro.
good.
You got to scroll. I'm too consistent with the posts and stuff, so you gonna be scrolling for a minute.
But I love the fact that you are consistent with it, man. Consistent because what you're doing right now, the creative juices, you have them flowing. I've seen a lot of different reels that you've put up recently. You
Yeah,
know, what if this was, you know,
right. Yeah,
what if
yeah,
this was song was,
yeah.
put some Christian lyrics to it, put some content to it where we know that it's going to edify and not,
Exactly.
take away. And I love that you do that. But yeah, with you, music, music.
Yeah.
Where did that start? I always like to ask that
So,
question because where did that come from?
so my family is super like musically inclined. But growing up, I never knew like I had a love for it, but I didn't have the gift yet. You know what I'm saying? So I was a background guy. I was always dancing, playing the drums. Like that was my thing. Like drums, that was it. I wanted to sing though, but I couldn't. I never found my voice until I got older. And so, yeah, like as years go on, of course, I played around with freestyling in school. Everybody does that, beating on the desk during lunchtime and stuff. But I never really was like, yo, this is what I'm gonna be doing with my life. Like I thought I was gonna be dancing or hooping. Like that was the only two things I was thinking. I was like, God, it's gotta be this or that. Like I don't know what else you're gonna do with me. But again, like I said, my whole family, they can sing. My dad sings, my sister sings, my mom sings. Everybody in my family is musically inclined. But I just did not have that gift at the time. So I think around when I got to college, I went to school in Charlotte. So Art Institute of Charlotte. Yep.
UNC? Where'd you went to?
Art Institute, Art Institute of Charlotte
Okay,
for graphic design, actually. So
nice.
they didn't even have a dance program. That's what I wanted to do though. But yeah, when I got to Charlotte, my sister was there. She ended up going to the same school, uh, and she went for fashion. But when I got there, she had friends that did music, and so she was like, "Oh, my brother can rap." And I was like, I be playing around with it. I don't really, take it serious. So
Yeah,
I, playing around with them in the studio and just recording different things. And I was like, okay, maybe I could actually do it. Because they were like, man, you got a dope voice for this. Like, you can actually rap a little bit. I was like, word, okay, that's what's up. But I guess from there, like the love kind of continuously kind of just started growing in me. But I've always had a love for music. Like I said, from just dancing, I was growing up watching
hmm,
Michael Jackson, emulating what he would do.
mm,
So that's where my love started. And just hearing
yeah.
music and then seeing his visuals and stuff, it had a huge impact on me. So yeah.
Yeah, and that's interesting that you say just about the dance piece because I got an
Yep.
opportunity to interview
Word.
Kylan
Yeah.
earlier this year, and Kylan, I told Kylan, I said, "Man, Kylan, bro, for you, yeah, you got that most because that's something that we don't really see that much when we think
Yeah.
about
Facts.
um, you know the world of Christianity. When we
Yeah.
think about that, we think about I believe you may have grown up in church like I did, right?
Yeah.
And so growing up in church, there's a certain construct that we see where, number one, the music that you currently do, we don't hear that in church. People have probably even demonized you
Facts.
for some of the stuff you do, but
Exactly.
forget them. God led you to do it.
Right.
Dancing, and I would remember asking Kylie this. I'm like, the type of dance that you do, we don't see that in church. That's not
Right.
something that we see.
Right.
And a lot of times what happens is if we don't see a representation of that, you know how this day and time we're big
Yeah.
on representation,
Yeah.
where it's saying, man, I want to see, you know, people are up in arms over the Little Mermaid that's coming out because now, who is it, Chloe or Haley? One of
Yeah.
them is
Yeah.
going to be playing Little Mermaid, but that's the representation, right? And so if we don't see that representation in church, a lot of times what happens is we see it outside of the church and we tend to go toward that because that's where it'll be accepted. But then
Exactly.
we're torn because we're like, well, mm,
Right.
I don't know if I can really
Exactly.
do this because
Exactly.
now I'm not doing it for the right things. But then when
Yeah.
God takes a hold of us and come back, then we're torn some more. Some people are, I should say, not all, where I have this gift, this talent, but God, is it even from you? And then how do I even incorporate this to where it points to you? And they're kind of torn. But I love when God lays on all of us, man, that came from me. That's me. And just let me guide you. That's where we go back to that blueprint.
Exactly.
This is what I constructed you for. Just follow that and trust me. Regardless, I don't care what they're saying. They can demonize you, but You know
Yeah,
what you're doing. Just follow me. So, what was your experience? And
man.
I know you talked about rapping and everything, but
Yeah,
what was your experience with? Did you even have to deal
yes,
with that?
yes, for sure. So it's crazy. So my parents are pastors. Um, but like, yeah, yeah, yeah. But for my
Yeah,
world, he was a dancer. He was still singing and stuff too. You would think he was like a light skinned Michael Jackson in a sense, like before he changed his.
yeah.
Because my dad had the Jerry curl. He was dancing. He almost was in a movie. Almost like I don't know if it was Breaking or one of the old school
Oh
like
wow,
yeah.
yeah.
He was about to be in one of those movies. But as I get older, I'm dancing and stuff like that. He seen my desire for dance, and he was trying to come against it because he was like, no, that was my conviction. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't need to go down this route because, this is going to lead you astray. Da, 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 da. I'm like, Dad, I want to dance for God. Like, let me dance for God. So, quick story, and then I'll get into that. So at the age of 7, I was run over by a drunk driver. My legs were twisted the opposite way. The doctor said I'd be paralyzed
Wow,
or walk again. Right?
wow,
God healed me in 20 minutes, just like that. Doctors never laid a hand on me,
wow.
and I was doing flips out the hospital. So even at that age, I was like 7 years old, but I started dancing when I was 4. So I was always dancing, flipping, doing something. And when that happened, like, of course I'm young, so I'm not thinking spiritually yet. But as years go on, it was like the enemy was always attacking me, but in my legs or like dealing with my mobility to do something.
Mm.
Right. So then in 2005, I was in another bad car accident. My lumbar too was snapped. It was broken. They told me the same thing. I'll be paralyzed for the rest of my life. I'll never walk again. But God healed me the same night. Like they literally took
Wow.
me where the bones were snapped, laying on top of each other like this. And then an hour went by, 2 hours went by, and they switched shifts. So we got a new doctor that came in, and the doctor says, "Do y'all mind if we take one more look?" My parents say, by all means. So they take me back for the second x-ray. And it's like they caught the miracle being performed right there. And the
Wow.
back the same night.
Wow.
So I use that as an example to explain to my dad. I was like, I think that this is what God wants me to do. Like the enemy is trying to take me out by my legs or just take me out completely. Like I know I have some kind of assignment, so I feel like this is part of it. And so when I said that, he took his hands off and said, "You know what, son, do it."
Mm-hmm.
So he had like full support. It went from nothing to like, okay, I can rock with this now. I can rock with it because you're trying to do it for God. You're honoring God with your gifts. I support that.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah.
Man.
But even on
Mm.
early on, like when we was in church in West Virginia, multiple churches, like I said, I was still dancing. But we were trying to dance to like different songs like Kirk Franklin. And at that time, back there, they was like, nah, that's taboo. We not rocking with that.
Oh, of course. Of course.
All of that. But that was one of my favorite artists as a kid growing up because it's almost like he got me in a sense, with the
Mm-hmm.
with the sound, with the way he was dressing, like all of that stuff. That's what caught my eye, and I was like, "Yo, I rock with that." So yeah, but it definitely
Man,
had to,
that that
yeah,
that testimony is just a strong testimony. Just to know,
yeah,
I mean, trying to take you out. Like that's so evident trying to take you out, trying to take the very thing that you love to do and attacking that. Even still doing a
yeah.
step
Fact,
back in the meniscus,
facts,
right? Even
fact,
still trying to hate on you, man, but still coming
fact,
back stronger
fact.
than
Yeah,
ever. Because I think that's an element that, again, where I talk about representation, seeing that,
yeah,
in each generation, we grow up, we're influenced by the culture. I know the Bible says, be in the world, not of the world. And so, yes, we're in the world, and yes, we're going to see different things that are there. Doesn't mean that some of these things are just ungodly just because you
right,
see them out there.
exactly,
God places things on everybody's heart, the passions into everybody, and we incorporate what we see in culture
mm,
and we run it through the lens and the filter of what God wants and we put it out there.
that's real.
And some people are not, you know, going to really take on to that and catch on to that. And I just pray for those people. I really do. And I pray for myself because I'm like, okay, God, every generation, what happens is something new comes on and the former generation is like, oh man, these kids have lost their way.
Right.
Have lost their way. They don't know. God, please always let me be led by your spirit to know, to discern
Yeah.
what is of you and what is not from you. because I don't want to be calling things that are truly a gift from God a gift from the devil.
Right.
I don't want to do that, man. And so, that's definitely, something that's been a prayer of mine. But I'm loving that you did that. And so, at college, your sister set you up. I like
Oh,
that she put you out there and said, "Hey, my brother raps," but she was just planting a seed. And
right.
does he rap or does he sing? Ah, that's a question that you ask in one of your songs. And if
Facts.
those people who are familiar with Friday, you remember a character named Felicia? Y'all remember who that character was? Well, right now, Mike Teezy has a song off of the Pressure EP called By Felicia. And right now, we're going to kick it to that track. One of my favorite tracks that he has. The beat is dope. Everything about this song is dope. And you guys will get an opportunity just to hear how dope of a lyricist he is. But hey, God is running all through his veins. And that's what we love to see. And that's what we're promoting. So right now on Q's Radio, we're about to listen to Mike Teezy by Felicia.
Then Jesus was led by the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted by the devil. After fasting 40 days and 40 nights, he was hungry. The tempter came to him and said, "If you are the Son of God, tell these stones to become bread." Jesus answered,
Bye, Felicia. Pressure. When the devil be trying to creep up, I tell him bye, Felicia. I had to check up the peace. You not disturbing my peace. When the devil be trying to creep up, just tell him bye, Felicia. You gotta check up the peace. He can't disturb your peace. They wanna know if I'm rapping and singing. I told them don't worry, I'm doing them both. COVID's still here, but I ain't even worried. My circle been tight and no one coming close. They probably thinking I'm super hydraulic the way I come in and be switching the flows. But I put on my pants one leg at a time if you wondering how I got on my clothes. I said it to say that I'm human, you see. I just happen to be who he using. I leaped in the water, he turned up the heat, then my name started bubbling like a jacuzzi. Where to God, I use that as a Uzi or AK-47. No, I'm not choosy, okay? I make jokes, but ain't no time for games. I just say, like Smokey and Craig. I roll with the Trinity, I keep the 3 on my back. They gon' think that I'm Irish and yeah. Never say he a friend of me. I see this cap and I know for a fact he gon' lie again. Lately been firing at me, I'm dodging the shots and I put out the smoke like a fireman. I be walking by faith, not by sight. Still gotta check my environment, that's how I know when the devil be trying to creep up. I tell him bye, Felicia. I had to check up the peace. You not disturbing my peace. When the devil be trying to creep up, just tell him bye, Felicia. You gotta check up the peace. He can't disturb your peace. He can't disturb your peace. God wrote the curse off me. Felt like a bird, I'm free. I made up my hair like Dragon Ball Z. Switch up the flow, but I'm still being me. How they gon' hold me? I'm Kobe on beats. Pull out my sword, then I aim at his ankles. I go for a swipe, then I call it defeat. That means I cut his foot off. Yeah. Look Christ said I gotta relax. I look back at that comment and laugh. Then go back in the lab and I spaz. In my own lane, I've been doing my lab. Supplying more pressure, my foot on the gas. If I decide to go sign with a label, I gotta make sure that the deal is a max. I feel like Dora, I pull out the word of God and start exploring. Use that as a map. He gave me power to tread up on serpents and scorpions. Watch how I walk on they back. Watch how I walk on they back. They be like, why he be talking like that? Pull out the word of God, aim at the devil and now he laying flat. When the devil be trying to creep up, I tell him bye, Felicia. I had to check up the peace. You not disturbing my peace. When the devil be trying to creep up, just tell him bye, Felicia. You gotta check up the peace. He can't disturb your peace.
Yes, yes. Mike Teezy and Ish off of the EP Pressure by Felicia. By
Yes.
Felicia. Do not disturb my peace. Bro, tell me how you came up with that track.
Man, I literally heard the beat and I just started freestyling. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna think of. I was like, let me think of a movie that I can, bring to life. And I was trying to stretch my artistic ability in a sense, like my writing and everything, because I don't write, but I literally just freestyle, do punches and stuff like that. So I was like, you know what? Bye, Felicia. That's perfect. It literally just came to me in my head, and so I started playing the beat, and I was like, I told him bye. And everything just started working, like legit, just started working.
Yeah. I
And
love it, man.
yeah, yeah, it was meant to be. So
It
yeah,
was meant to be,
that's
man. Such a dope track, and I love that, man. Just like Dora the Explorer, you start searching the word. I mean, just to put
bad.
that stuff together. And your creativity is kind of similar to mine, where you say you will hear kind of like a phrase,
Yeah,
and that's what happens to me. In regard to I don't write music or anything, but I write plays,
word. Oh,
and so for me, I can hear something. I'm like, okay, I got it.
Yeah,
I see the whole story. It starts coming together, and it's like, man, it's amazing how God just kind of puts that in us, and then just starts flooding us with what we need to put out, and
yeah.
just a dope journey. And you got an opportunity to work with Ish on that
Ish, yeah, yeah.
EP. So that's always good. So some of the people that I like to put out there, who are some people that you would like to collaborate with that you may not have collaborated with before?
So, man, that's tough. I guess Lecrae and Andy, that would be dope. I feel like I'm gonna miss somebody's name. That's why I'm not trying to say too much.
Hey,
But
I mean, yeah, we know you know a lot of people, and that a lot of people admire what you do.
I think No Big Deal in Paris, that would be dope as well too. So yeah,
Yeah, no big deal for sure.
yeah,
I like no big deal. That whole crew that they have and what they're doing, man. It's just
yeah,
some awesome stuff. So, I mean, with you and just the creative juices that you have,
yeah,
and you just the way you maneuver through this.
yeah.
What is it that you find to be inspirational for you? What are some inspirations? I know you talked about seeing Michael Jackson earlier, but
Oh yeah,
you look around, what are some other inspirations for you?
ton. I have a ton. Like even in my bio, there's like almost a paragraph of just inspirations of people. So yeah, of course Michael Jackson, of course Kirk Franklin. Um, it's so many. Uh, Chris Brown, another one. Busta Rhymes, Timbaland as a producer. Like his production is insane. Um, it's so many to name. Um, but yeah, I kind of draw from a lot of different people in a lot of different places. So I kind of look at myself as like a melting pot, if that makes sense, because I can
I
do so
like
many
that.
styles. I can switch up the flow, be rapping like Busta. I can switch up the flow, rap like Ludacris. Somebody, just different people, and this. I don't know. I feel like that makes me unique because I can do so many different things. And yeah,
Yeah, the versatility of being able to maneuver through different things. Just
yeah,
talking to, I had the opportunity to talk to Kadidia. Kadidia out of New York. She's a singer.
okay.
Just her. Just talking about she's a huge Brandy fan, a
Oh yes,
huge Brandy
that's
fan, and
another.
and so for her, just a lot of the stuff that Brandy has done, just admiring that, but also just saying, I know there's a refrain for certain artists that we see. Some people know that this is their lane and they stay in that. And then there are other people that be switching lanes because they can do that. They don't have, they be switching smoothly. Madison Hughes is someone that comes to mind for me. Madison Hughes is such a dope artist, and with her, country music, I see she's kind of in that lane right now.
Perfect.
But when I first met Madison, it was straight R&B. And I'm like, oh my goodness, but then kind of transitioned to that. So just the versatility that you have is something that is definitely deeply warranted and needed for what we're seeing in the day and time. What would be your assessment of what we're seeing right now in regard to the music industry, mainly among believers? What are you assessing if you were to take it from the time that you said your parents are pastors, and so if you were to take it from the time of what you remember growing up in church, and then when we start hearing other things, what is your assessment of the
So,
evolvement of it?
so I feel like a lot of things are more so being a move towards the direction of Christian hip hop now. Like as you've seen on like the what was it, the Double Wars and like different wars that are mainly gospel, things. They're trying to target the youth now because they see where things are headed. So that's a
Yeah,
great thing. You know what I'm saying? And I also see like the elevation in sound and quality within our space as well. Because growing up, we had some deacons at the church, they try to do what they could, but it doesn't sound like today. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't sound like it does today. And so I definitely hear like, definitely like elevation as you were talking about earlier. I definitely hear that in the sound. So sonically we're elevating. And even like our wordplay, our storytelling is getting better. I hear all of that. But the main thing that I've been hearing in my spirit for me personally has been infiltration. Like I've been hearing that
mm,
3 months, past 3 months. and God has definitely shown up in a mighty way outside of our space. You know what I'm saying? Like people like Chili or Vito, and man, Kevin Garnett just liked my video today. I'm just like, this is crazy. The mom off
Yeah.
Moesha, speaking of Brandy, the mom off Moesha had liked my video yesterday. I'm like, this is crazy. So God is moving in different
Oh, yeah.
areas, different facets. It's really going crazy. You know what I'm saying? Infiltrating
And,
everywhere.
and
So
it
yeah,
is. Yeah, I love that in your spirit you're hearing infiltration. That's a huge, huge word, for what we see going on in this space of believers. For a long time, it seemed like we boxed ourselves in.
facts.
We limited God into regard to what God can do. Oh God, and I get it. Trust me. There's awe. There's the holiness of God. There's reverence. I get all of that, and I understand it, but there's always a time and place for what God has. And infiltration is just so big to me because you're talking about these different artists. Where think about Kristen Gray and the song that was on the commercial, stop me, oh somebody stop me, stop me, Lord, if I'm doing it wrong. That was playing on commercials. They were playing that leading into NBA games, on ABC and ESPN. And I'm like, dude,
Exactly.
that's because, and now I love what one of the Becca Folks, she's from the UK. Becca Folks talked about just on the CHH podcast. And I always like to shout those ladies out. CHH podcast, go check them out if you guys have not. They're highlighting women in the music industry doing what they're doing, and we definitely need to make sure we spotlight that. But I like what Becca was saying, is that the different type of music, the sonically, what she's doing, it's not going to be the traditional gospel that we may have grown up hearing. And lo-fi, we're going to hit dubstep. We, now hearing, a lot of R&B. That is really, elevating in this space. And so now you may go to a club, those individuals who do that still, the DJ could be playing your song
That's crazy.
because the DJ got caught because the beat, like, yo, this beat is dope. I know they're gonna dance to this. But she said that could be an entry point for somebody
That's
in
real.
there that may have never heard of God, may have strayed away, whatever the situation is. They hear that. That's a seed being planted.
For sure.
And so that's the infiltration, and I love that. That's what your spirit, that's what God is kind of leading you to do.
Yeah.
But we got more. We're going to do a double play right now. We'll double
Nice.
play a couple of your tracks, and I'm gonna let you choose which two should we play, because we got three more to go. But which two should I play next for you, man?
Ooh, man. Let's go with Roll the Stone Away.
Oh yeah, roll the stone away. So right now we got a track coming up. Yes, this video, you guys are gonna like this. It's called Roll the Stone Away. Mike Teezy, it's the official video. Check this out.
Yeah. I don't deserve all the grace that he give. I be like, who am I? Should have been different. The thoughts in my head telling me I should try suicide. So many times I could think of that he could have left when I couldn't get right. That my rose took weight off my shoulders and said we've been only endorsed for a night. But God's been good. Scratch that, God's been great. Every time I hit a brick wall, God still made a way. Oh yeah, he made a way. His saving grace. He died on the cross when my dad was paid. He took the stain away without no detergent. There ain't a day that my father ain't working. So many times that I question my purpose. If I could be honest, I don't know my worth. Should I be living up under the dirt? I know that's a lot from the devil for certain. I know he's slithering just like a serpent. The stone rolled away, he removed all the curses.
He washed my sins away. My life won't be the same. When he rose up from the grave, he rolled the stone away.
I know he's risen. You can't tell me any different. If I lose every dime of my name, I still got heavenly riches. Can I get a witness? I've been in the trenches. I came out relentless. I ain't had no sight, but he gave me a vision. Saw me with a mic and I made the decision. I'm living for him every day that I'm giving.
Every day.
Ain't no chains on me. He got me freed up. Ain't no stains on me. I finally cleaned up. Yeah. How about the boat? Now I'm walking on water like Peter. And I know Yeah. It's your boy Mike Teezy. Hey, I'm back and I'm better than ever before. Went through the fire, but I came out cold. I know that my end ain't gon' look nothing like my beginning. Just watch how the story unfold. Even in Rome, I cannot do what y'all doing. I guess that I'm breaking the mold. I know my role, I'm back and I'm bold. You can hear it in the sound of my tone. I'm independent, but I've been dependent on my father, cause he been defending me. I bet any minute he can come with the quickness, so don't try to test his agility. The enemy silly, he said he was smoke, so I'm puffing it out like a chimney. I told him speak up if he thinking that he'll get the victory. We just heard crickets, and that's what the Jimmy need. Him and his minions will not get the minion, and that's probably something he already know. Back in the lab, making rap after rap on our rest on the Sabbath. Come back with some more, had my back on the ropes, but I catapult forward. I use it as force like I'm Rocky Balboa. Snakes in the grass, so I pull out my mower. Ain't nothing new like I've been in before. This is spiritual war. He know he in trouble, I pulled out my sword. He calling for help, but I'm cutting the cord. Got him on the island, he stuck on the shore. I'm colder than ice like I took him up north. I came with the squad and they tougher than yours. Man, he tried to buy me, but I'm not for sale because Christ paid the price he can never afford. Hey, what you been doing? Hustling, trying to put food on our plates. They think I got me some cattle that's calling me daddy the way I be raising the stakes. I try to take the controls in the reins, but that's when God told me to stay in my place. I used to lick it like bitter, but that was until the day I got a taste of his grace. Now I'm back and I'm bold, I'm better than ever before, just look at me. Used to tell me to be quiet like we in the library, now they be booking me. It's crazy. Who would've knew all these trees would grow from the seeds that he put in me? And who would've knew I would be everything that they said that I couldn't be? Hey, yeah. Back and I'm bold, I stand on 10 toes. Yeah. Garment of praise, just check out the clothes. It ain't no secret the work I've been putting in, I just keep it on the low. They try to take it, I said they could keep it, cause I be reaping what I sowed. That means I got it right back, if I gave it you already know that's 100-fold. I had it to folks, I ain't know to grab buckets to try to catch some of this overflow. I try to laugh through the pain, it was so uncomfortable like hitting a funny bone. But I'm walking in grace, got a smile on my face when I'm battling, you probably never know. Yeah, I'm back and I'm bold.
Yes, y'all just got a double play right there. Mike Teezy, Roll the Stone Away, and Bold freestyle right there, man. That is brilliant. That's what I'm going to give you your props right now. I'm going to give you your props because you touched on this earlier. And what we're seeing in regard to nowadays is the quality.
Yeah.
Quality. And that's something I've always talked about. And I know what you're saying. Whether it was because a lack of expertise and skill in that area, whether or not it was a lack of funding in that area, or whether or not it was what some considered not appropriate for the body of Christ. Some of the aesthetics were not up to par. And now what we're seeing in this creative space from a lot of believers with their creativeness is what you're doing. You know, where we have you in your tuxedo, you're the conductor of this orchestra, where you're out in all white, roll the stone away. And just tell me about the treatment for both of those videos.
So I'm like one of those creatives too. Like while I'm creating the song, I start seeing things. You know what I'm saying? So I'll see something visually, even though I just said it in the mic and I'm playing it in the speakers, I'll start singing it automatically. So it's almost playing like a movie in my head. So I think the fact that I'm grateful for the fact that I have a friend like Keon, the one Keon, which is another artist. He's super dope. But he's actually like my friend, my brother, like in real life. Like we talk almost every day. And I'm able to communicate to him like the things that I want to get done. And he came to me, I want to say 2019 when I left my job because I was using a different videographer at that time, but it was super expensive. You know what I'm saying? Because I wanted to keep the quality, keep, elevating and all that good stuff. But
I get it.
I had to be wise. I had to be wise as well. And Keon was one of those people that came to me and was like, bro, I know that you love making videos, whatever you need help with, bro. I'm not as advanced as dude, but I'll do what I can and we'll try to make it happen. I said, say less. I'll work with you. We're going to make it happen. And so we just started teaming up and doing different things. And his quality is elevating. His editing is elevating everything. So He said, bro, I love working with you because you're gonna stretch me every time. And I was like, thank God. Because my ideas be out of here sometimes. And I'm like, I don't know how we're gonna make this happen, but this is what I see. So I'm grateful for the fact that I have him because I can just easily just say what I see and we'll just figure it out from there. Like I speak it out first. I'm like, yo, I want to speak it because I want it to happen. You know what I'm saying? Speak those things that are not as though they were. So I speak it out and we just come together and we kind of talk back and kind of get ideas of how we can actually execute those things. And so when I created Roll the Stone Away, I literally wanted a tomb. Like I wanted to find a tomb somewhere. And I was like, you know what? We can use a cave. I got to do some research. So I started looking up caves in North Carolina. Found, I was like, yo, this is the perfect setting. It was probably maybe like an hour and a half away. And so we made it happen. We made it happen. We went out there. I hit up people. I was like, yo, I need a choir. I had my family in there. I had my wife in there. I had the actual singers that sung the song. They were in the video too.
I love it.
Yeah, so it was crazy. And then I just made a post on Facebook. I was like, yo, we need background, singers to act like they're singing a song. You're gonna get an exclusive of the song. You know what I'm saying? That way you can learn it early. All of that good stuff. I just need you to show up, have a white, robe on. That's it. People bought their robes, came out, and we shot it. And I was like,
Man,
thank
that's
you.
amazing.
Not only did you
Amazing.
give me the idea and the vision, but you also blessed me with the people to help me execute it. So yeah, so that's where that one came from. And then the idea with Back in Bold. So it's crazy. When I dropped Pressure, the Pressure EP, the very first one, I was in a different headspace at the time. And I was super excited because I had a dream that dreams was going crazy. They was going up. They was going like wow, the first day. And when the EP dropped, it did not post on every streaming platform. So I was super frustrated. I was like, God, show me in my dream, like what's going on? Like, why would this happen? So I immediately started feeling depressed, feeling defeated. I was like, you know what? Let me bind this now. And I immediately hopped in the studio and I created Back and Bold.
Wow.
Literally, like just rapping out of frustration. And it, it was like I was just coming, I'm back and I'm better than ever before. Like it just came out just like that. And so at that time, I didn't know what I was gonna do with the song. It was just a freestyle to vent, to get it off my chest and just get it out. And over time I kept playing it. I actually dropped it and I was like, you know what? I need a visual for this. And I see it. And I kept on hearing the violins just going crazy. When they went up an octave, I was like, oh my God, we need to make this happen. And so I had reached out first. I reached out to one of my old high school teachers. She's actually the orchestra teacher at my high school.
Okay, yeah.
Reached out to her. I reached out to her because she's teaching at the art school now.
Mhm.
Um, you know, and so I reached out to her and I was like, I'm trying to get this video done. I know you still, teaching orchestra. I want to see if you had any students that you know of that might want to be a part of this video because I wanted to include like my home city. Um, so I tried it. I waited like maybe like 3 or 4 weeks. Still nothing. Haven't heard back. I reached out. She was like, I'm still waiting on them to come back. Da da da. Let me know. I was like, you know what? I can't sit on this idea any longer. And so I thought of my cousin. My cousin is actually an orchestra teacher. He like leads an orchestra. It's a hip hop orchestra. It's crazy.
That's
Uh,
dope.
in Ohio. So growing up, we were always together. We was always doing music. I was playing the drums. He would be playing the violin. His twin brother played the keys. Like they were literally like super super musicians. Like they could play almost anything. But when he got a hold of the violin, he just soared with it. So now he has his own orchestra.
Yeah.
You know what? Let me reach out to my cousin and see what we can actually make happen. Because I think we can make this happen. How can we do it? He's like, bro, I'm not gonna charge you nothing. If y'all can get to Ohio, we can make it happen. I said, say less. We drive to Ohio. Me and Keon, we have a bro trip, if you will. We go to Ohio, and I found this space to shoot it. And get this, the guy that owns it is actually a Christian. He used to be in the Christian industry as well. It's
Wow.
crazy. And so
Wow.
he, like the first thing he said to me, he was like, I love your music. So I didn't even know he was gonna go and look me up and stuff like. He literally said, I spent the last 2 days streaming your whole catalog. I said, what?
Wow.
He said,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
I used to be I owned a label in I think he was in Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah.
So he had a label in Nashville, ended up moving to Ohio, and he bought out this big like farm, but he turned the farm into like a videography studio. Crazy.
That's dope. That's dope.
Yeah, like it's super elite. Like the space is immaculate. It's really crazy. But we get in there and my cousin is setting up, like all the people from the orchestra is there. They literally just heard the song. I'm thinking they already heard it. No, they heard it for 5 minutes, played it back and forth for 5 minutes, got it just like that.
Yes, they
They're
did, man.
playing. So at the end, you'll hear them actually playing it for real. That was probably like one of the first takes. But
Hmm.
even while it happened in the main portion, they're still playing. Like they're literally playing for real. They're not faking it.
Yeah.
It's real. So it's crazy. It's crazy.
Man, brilliant, man. I
Yeah.
love just that entire creative process, man, what you were doing, and you're elevating it, man. That's what it's about. And just getting the opportunity to, to just to see that and witness it. And I love how everything came together for you, how God wanted you to get that out there, how these things started falling into place for you. And I even see you up there, and I was going to ask you about this as far as, you're conducting. And
Yeah.
do you have any background? I know you do you have any background in music theory, or have you ever studied? Do you play keys or
Yeah.
any other? Okay.
Yeah. So growing up, when we moved to North Carolina, matter of fact, in 2000, we started taking piano lessons. So I learned how to read music. I was probably around what, 9 or 10. So I started learning how to read music then, but I didn't stick with the keys because I was just in love with the drums. So then when I get to maybe fifth grade, they had never had like a drummer, like a percussionist in the fifth grade at this school that I went to. And I talked to the band teacher. I was like, "Listen, I know you want me to play the trumpet, but I play the drums in my church, and I would really like to read music to get better at it for my church." And so he
Yeah.
heard my heart, and he was like, "By all means, do what you got to do. I'll show you what you need to do. You know what I'm saying? How to read the music, how to read everything." And I was like, "What? Okay, let's go." So fifth grade, I'm the first percussionist ever in fifth grade to
Wow.
actually for the school. So that was crazy. So that was the start. Then, when I go to the new school that I told you about, it's super small. Um, I was a part of every band they had. So the jazz band, the concert band, the marching band, all of that stuff. I was the section leader for the percussion, like all of that. So yeah, a long background in just music theory and all of that good stuff. But I never like fully conducted. I just watched my
Yeah.
teacher.
Yeah, for sure.
And my cousin, like I said, he was over the whole orchestra. And the name of the
Mhm.
orchestra, Columbus Cultural Orchestra. That's what it's called. Um,
Columbus Cultural Orchestra, man. Shout out
yeah,
to you all, man.
yeah,
Doing your
yeah,
thing, and shout out to your cousin. Keep on doing
yeah.
your thing, man. I love that. I love seeing that. I love seeing
That,
that. And you're right. You do come from a family of musicians. God has
yeah,
you guys are some Levites, man. God
yeah,
has just laid that on you all for sure.
yeah.
I mean, I see it. And we got one more track to listen to from you, man. Another track. This one is called Mobbin. I mean, everything that you put out, and I can see why he listened to your entire catalog, because it is a catalog that you can listen to without having to say, you know what, I don't like that. Let me skip. So that's a credit to you. That's a
Praise
credit to
God.
you letting God just use you and put some dope stuff on you. So right now we're about to hear another track, the last track from Mike Teezy. Right now we're about to hear Mike Teezy, the official video. It's called Mobbin.
It's your boy Mike Teezy. From the 304 to the Tray 4. You already know.
Should we stop playing?
Yeah. Hey, tell me who your squad is. And I came with the gang and we mobbing. Show up with the light. Got everybody flocking. The devil wanna fight. Well, everybody mobbing. Well, everybody mobbing. Everybody mobbing. Everybody mobbing. We got everybody mobbing. Show up with the light. Got everybody flocking. The devil wanna fight. Well, everybody mobbing. Everybody jumping in at the same time. I saw one accord, it's like we got the same mind. The devil moving kinda fairly across the baseline. I didn't think he ate convict. Hey, yeah, you know we got the squad up in here. The enemy gon' be defeated as long as God in the midst. Yeah, we eatin'. Close your eyes, bow your head. Yeah, we eatin'. Say a prayer, cause we mobbing again. Let me get back to the rapping. Devil talk smack, but I know we can't back it. I just sit back and I laugh when the devil got a plan, but my God come a jacket. Better prepare for defeat. If you coming at me, I be the one to bag him up. Never let up on my feet on this neck, he ain't getting up. That's where the Lazarus. Hey, tell me who your squad is. Man, I came with the gang and we mobbing. Show up with the light. Got everybody flocking. The devil wanna fight. Well, everybody everybody mobbing. Well, everybody mobbing. Everybody mobbing. Everybody mobbing. We got everybody mobbing. Show up with the light. Got everybody flocking. The devil wanna fight. Well, everybody mobbing. We got everybody mobbing. Squad getting active. I hit it with a Robin. Psychic Batman. But the devil wanna tap out when everybody tapping. The buddy believing you couldn't get it with a napkin. I'm laughing at you. You thought that you had me when I was acting a fool. But I went and took a dip in the baptism pool. Now God really using me when I'm rapping the booth. Now I'm laughing at you, so we stomping on your head. They think I'm in Louboutin cause I said I'm a Christian. Because of the bottom of all of my shoes started turning red. Every time I take a dive in the Bible, I gotta implement the things that it said. When I'm with the crew, it's always like communion. Cause I got the juice, you know I'm breaking bread. Sound like communion. Man, I got so many sounds like a switch and the devil never know what's coming. And he thinking some everything, he heard the power and then the devil started running. Yeah, the devil started running, the fight has been fixing, I already won it. Look at my life and you can see what God did, you ain't gotta wonder. Hey, tell me who your squad is. Man, I just came with the gang and we mobbing. Show up with the light, got everybody flocking. The devil wanna fight, well everybody mobbing.
Yes. We just got a chance to hear Mobbin, Mike Teezy, Christian Louboutin, the Red Bottoms, because I'm
Yes, sir.
stomping. They got that blood, man. Brilliant wordplay, man.
Appreciate it.
But I just had to laugh when I heard that, man. Brilliant. I love hearing, wordplay that makes sense,
Yeah,
right? That makes
yeah,
sense, and that really makes a connection. And you accomplished that very well. And I saw Keon in there.
yeah, yeah.
I saw the one Keon in there. So that was another one that Keon did. He
So,
also.
so the original, like I said, the videographer that I was originally working with, he actually hit me up and was like, "Bro, I'm back." So he actually retired from doing music videos, maybe like a year or two ago, and he just hit me up randomly, and I was like, "Bro, bet, like, let's do it." And because I've been wanting Keon inside of a video because he was in communion too, so we had his brother like shoot it for us. But for Mobbin, I wanted a group of people, like I wanted a ton of people to come out, but that night it just happened to rain. I was like, God, why? But I had the faithful few that still came and showed up. So I was like, you know what? We're gonna work with this. We're gonna make it happen. Let's get it. But yeah, Keon, he came all the way from Greensboro, and we shot it. Like it was dope. And shout out to Cool Cannon because he's the one that shot that one. But yeah, he's still like with Cool Cannon too. I'm still able to direct and just be super creative, and I'm never like fully boxed in. And I love that because a lot of videographers, they want you to do what they see instead of like what you actually want to do or what you want to bring to the light. So yeah, man, I appreciate him for that too.
No, man, that's awesome, man. I like just the whole creative, like I said, the whole creative nature of everything, that I've been seeing from you, man. And let's just keep on pushing,
Def-
keep on doing that thing, man. Because
Definitely,
it's brilliant, and I expect to see a lot more from you. I expect
definitely.
to see a lot more from you, man. And with that, what is it that we should be looking forward to from you? Or some projects that's probably out there right now? Because it looks like you write every day. You get inspiration every day. But what is
Pretty.
something that we can be looking forward to?
Yeah, so I'm actually dropping my last song of the year tonight. Actually, it's called Anita, and so that was another song where it was like a freestyle. But what I did was I took words from different people, and I just put those in a song, and it just still made sense. It was crazy. So Anita's dropping tonight, but next year we starting off fresh, January 6th with a new single. But we're actually dropping a project next year. We dropping a project next year. I'm not gonna release the name just yet, but look for it on my birthday, April the 7th. Yeah, so for sure, it's gonna be great.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to save this episode because when you
Yeah,
guys are seeing this is gonna air in 2023. So when you guys see this, I may have to just drop this episode on his birthday. So if you're seeing this just may be on his birthday. Let's just hope that if it's not on your birthday, it's gonna be close enough to it.
right. Yeah, that'll be great.
Close enough to it, man. No, man, just enjoyed having you on, and this is just part of the show where I love this. I think this is a very fun part. I love this question. It's a two-part question. All
Okay,
right, two-part question. And you guys, whoever watch Q's Radio, you're familiar. You know what's coming up. He probably doesn't know what's coming up, but it's okay. That's what I like. So my question to you is this: I'm going to have you pick a destination, a location. It could be some place that you have been before that you really enjoyed. You enjoyed visiting that city, that country, whatever it is. Or it could be a place that you have always wanted to go, but you just have not had the chance to go there yet.
hmm, that's a good question. So Dubai is super clean. I want to check it out.
All
I
right,
think.
cool. So yeah, Dubai. Let's go with Dubai then. So he
Yeah,
said Dubai, and we know that that's the extravagant life over there. A lot of things that they do is just amazing from an architectural standpoint. So when you go over there, go with the wife, do it
thanks.
big, do it big, and I do want to see you film over there on sand dunes.
Okay.
So I'm gonna hold you to that. Okay, that's just the first part of the question. So we have you in Dubai. You're
All
with your
right.
wife,
Yeah,
and I guess my question to you: what is your preferred method of listening to sound? Is it over the head earphones? Is it external speakers? Is it AirPods? What is your preferred method?
that's a good question. Um, I do like the over the ears because it's like you get the full, aesthetic of everything. You know what I'm
Tell
saying?
them
Sound.
about it, man. Tell them
So
about
yeah,
that, man. Yeah, because I listen
yeah,
to certain artists and I know that they put
yeah.
so much time into constructing that song, every piece of it. And I want to hear every instrument. I want to hear every ad lib. I want to hear everything. And so, yeah, for me, it's going to be over the ear headphones for me. So, my question to you: so, we have you in Dubai. You with your wife. You guys taking a 10-day trip over there. You're getting a chance to explore. You're driving in a drop top Bentley or whatever it is. You guys just cruising the streets. You got the music playing on the radio, or you're back in your room, you guys are sharing head, whatever it is. My question to you is Mike Teezy, who and what are we going to hear on your playlist?
Word. So I ain't gonna lie, it's gonna be a lot of me. It's gonna be a lot of me.
Thank you.
But
I'm applaud you for that. I'm gonna tell you why I'm gonna applaud you for that because some people get afraid to even say that.
I keep it a buck. Yeah, so a lot of me because I even got unreleased stuff that's still sitting on my phone right now. So yeah, a lot of that, a lot of gospel, just worship music. Got a lot of that. Maverick City, Kirk, Israel Houghton, like just a ton of different people. KB, of course, my brother One Keon, Caleb Gordon, Mission. It's a lot of different people that really my homies that I rock with, that I have their music. You know what I'm saying? I got a stream of music
Yeah.
to support. But yeah, that's what you're gonna hear.
And I think there has been one name that has appeared on and been repeated on this podcast more than any other name.
Michael Jackson.
Caleb Gordon.
Caleb, yeah.
Caleb, I mean, there's been several people who have named Caleb Gordon. And the funny thing about it, I live in Orlando. Caleb lives in Orlando.
Right.
I got to get him on the podcast. I got to get him on here, man. Definitely for sure, man. But man, no, Mike, I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to hop on here with me, man. People, all the songs that you heard tonight, right down there in the description. Whether or not you're listening to the podcast, click on that link. Whether or not you're looking at this on YouTube, click on the link. Follow, subscribe to
Please
Mike
do.
Teezy, man. You know, it's going to be some dope stuff that you hear. And of course, follow, subscribe to Q's Radio Podcast. Click on that link, that notification button, because it's about dope music, great content, that's going to be on here. Dope music, great conversation, elevation. And that's what we look to do. The guests that I bring on here, the creativity that they have is unmatched because it's coming straight from the creator. And so that's what I encourage everybody to do is go that route. But I always like to give my guests the opportunity before we close out tonight to, we've had the dope music, we've had a
Yeah.
great conversation.
Yeah.
And the last piece is elevation. I always like to give you the opportunity to leave us with an elevating thought.
Okay. I think the best thought that I can give has been something that I've been nibbling on myself, and also just helping others out. And it's just seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all these things shall be added. Just a sped up version, in a sense. And I literally had this thought last night, and I had posted it on Facebook, and it really blessed and encouraged a lot of people, and that's what I wanted it for. But there was a season and a time where earlier this year, some things were supposed to happen in my music career, and they did not happen. And so I got discouraged. I got super depressed. All of these things, but then I had to, remember. I was like, I prayed that God, if this is not what you want for me, don't let it happen. Don't allow it. And sure enough, it didn't happen. But still, every goal that I set, every goal that I just spoke, it happened this year anyway. It happened without that other opportunity. And so it's super crazy, but I literally had to seek God first, and everything else just started falling in place. So that's the best elevation little nugget that I could give.
Man, I love it though. I love it
Yeah,
though. I love it though. Yeah, seek first. Seek first. godly things. And
Yeah.
all these other things are going to be added unto you. Because think about it this way, people. We didn't create ourselves.
Right.
We didn't create ourselves. We don't know what tomorrow holds.
Right.
But we serve a God who does. We serve a God who understands exactly where God wants us to be. And so seek first. That way you can get to where you want to be. And trust me, it's going to be for your benefit. It's for your blessing. And so again, Mike, thank you so much, man, for joining Q's Radio. A new episode every Monday, people. Be sure to check it out. And as I always say, God is blessing. Just be sure that you step out and receive exactly what God has for you. And with that, people, I'm going to say goodnight.
Everywhere I look, it see like there's a new distraction. No sitting back, we stepping, time for action. Breaking down the problems, she just look at that like fractions. Bumping holy music in your city while we passing. I can't hold these blessings, offering plate I pass it. Talking about my past life. And the things that I did was all way to live, yeah. Let the love of that life. You ain't had to do it, but I'm glad that you did. I heard it on the radio. Tell me up beside the stereo. Wanna feel it all around.